I'm a huge fan of concept art, but I often feel a little bit disappointed when I compare it to before and after. This is an original concept art of The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, and this is a scene from the release game on the same location. Please don't get me wrong, the final product is fantastic, but it never seems to surpass the original idea. There seems to be something lost in translation, but what is it? This is an exploration to try to answer that question. What makes an image? The essence of an image lies upon a series of elements that provides its identity. The lighting casting shadows, the atmospheric effects, the materials, its textures, color values, characters, and objects shown. We see this issue appear over and over again, regardless of the style or medium. I don't think this is a technical but an artistic problem. The colors and contrasts are not the same, meaning we're missing color values. This is a clue. I enjoy painting, and I know that your palettes always resemble your paintings, but in a non-linear and abstract way. Can we replicate this process? So I wrote a little script that would do just that, by calculating the frequency of dominant colors in our image and plotted the percentage. Compelling imagery conveys visual narrative. By using different techniques, the artist leads the eye to a journey across the artwork. Take this image for example. Notice how no matter where you look, you'll end up at the focal point, thanks to composition, contrast, and color. And even more interesting, also notice how the palette seems to capture its essence, but moreover, it compresses the story in a linear way instead of 2D. I think we're onto something here. So how can we use this in our environment? There's something that all of these images have in common: atmosphere. Scattering is a process where small particles suspended in a medium of a different index of refraction diffuse a portion of the incident radiation in all directions. Sunlight comes into the atmosphere and can be scattered in any direction as it passes through medium. This diffuses the light, spreading it out in all directions, so it's not just a single straight beam. Without our atmosphere scattering light, shadows will look completely black, like on the moon. There are 3 types of scattering. Rayleigh scattering gives us blue skies, mist scattering white clouds, and non-selective scattering haze. So atmospheric scattering is this beautiful thing that fills all the gaps around us with light and color. Let's leverage these concepts in Unreal. This is what the palette implementation looks like inside Reverie. There are 3 main actors we can generate: fogs, materials, and decals. We'll create them all and use them later. We can generate a palette for the entire scene, but in this case I know I'll want one for the sky and one for the grass. Let's start from scratch. Here's our scene, and this is our palette imported as a color curve. Let's add some basic lighting, and then let's apply our fog as a post-process material. We can tweak the intensity and contrast until we're happy with the result. This is quite effective, but it won't propagate to our objects in our scene. We also need another way to imprint our palette anywhere we want. We need to do something with this grass, it's very flat. Let's add some variation with the palette materials. Reverie generates a material function so you can drag and drop into any of your materials. Now we just need to adjust the pattern for the scattering. This comes from a simple noise mask, as you can see. Okay, I'm pretty happy with the result. The last way we can utilize palettes is with decals. Decals are a great way to freely project your textures around your scene. Now let's do the same for the Last of Us scene. I'll start by adding the basic lighting again and match it to a similar time of day. It's quite important to always keep an eye on the reference. My goal here is to get a neutral look before adding our fog, since it's gonna colorize it. Let's generate our palette now. I think a simple fog is enough in this case. That's it. I think it's close enough. Thank you for joining me in this journey. Palettes will be ready in the first version of Reverie, and I can't wait to see what you can create with it.